This next topic is based off in New York, and apparently the migrants have been going around store to store robbing the place. Can you believe that, New York? Let's tune in.
Officials tell us that when it comes to migrants committing crime, what they can do is limited because of the city's sanctuary status.
We're no longer contacted. We're no longer called.
The federal government's ability to deport migrants accused of a crime is limited, according to Kenneth Janello, who oversees operations of immigration and customs enforcement in New York City. Janello says that since 2014, when the city council passed its sanctuary city laws, ICE's partnership with the city went out the window. Now, instead of getting notified when a migrant is being accused of a crime, he says they find out.
Did y'all know they got rid of ISIS? Sorry, not ISIS. ICE. Did y'all know they got rid of ICE? Did y'all know that if you, as an American citizen, rob a store, you're going to prison? But them as an migrant, if they rob a store, they don't have to go to jail. They can get out. What's going on here? Like, who wrote up these laws? Who wrote up these laws? But let's continue.
Out through the media.
Instead of being able to take custody of these individuals in the confines of a jail or in the confines of a precinct, we now have to go out into the community and the streets where unfortunately the criminals have the upper hand.
This call for cooperation follows an attack against police officers carried out by more than a dozen migrants. 6 people have been arrested so far and only 1 was held on bail.
All I can say is if that was a black man, he'd be shot. That's all I could say about that. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying.
4 of the migrants are believed to have skipped town after their arraignment and took a bus headed to California. We asked if there was no sanctuary city law on the books, if these migrants would have been detained after leaving court.
As long as NYPD contacted us, yes.
Mayor Eric Adams continued to say on Monday he believes those responsible should be deported. However, he wouldn't say whether he supports the city's sanctuary status, just that it's not up to him.
This is a city council bill that was passed. And so the city council must review that.
Meanwhile, on Monday morning, the NYPD arrested around 7 migrants accused of carrying out around 62 robberies. Many of these migrants used mopeds and electric scooters to snatch things like iPhones and wallets. These men then sold the phones to the migrant posing as a ringleader who would hack the phones to steal a person's bank information. The NYPD says these migrants primarily live in city-run shelters.
So these migrants, or these cartel members, I should say, are really coming in here into the U.S. and infiltrating like they in Mexico. They out here running rampant, running freely, doing what they got to do, scamming everybody. And all we got to say is just close our borders. That's all we got to say. That's all we got to say. And unfortunately, people, it's too late. The cartel is already here. The El Salvadorian gangs are here already. And they're in New York City and they're robbing you. It's no longer just the Bloods and Crips, ladies and gentlemen. It's no longer that. We got a big problem on our hands, but let's continue.
A wave of migrant crime has washed over our city. They're essentially ghost criminals. No criminal history, no photos, no cell phone. Today is a hard-fought win.
The NYPD says they are also investigating possible human trafficking at city-run shelters. Now, when it comes to those migrants who attacked police officers, the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is presenting evidence to a grand jury tomorrow.
This is insane, people. This is insane. Unfortunately, This is what it's come to in New York City with the migrants.